Welcome back to Ace Attorney Anime Review, episode number 18. Yeah, I was kind of hoping it was a couple days ago, but I was a little behind watching Case Closed, so I decided to watch a little more of that before I got to this. But now I got to the point where I can actually watch this. Yeah. Those of you who are curious, though, where I'm at for this particular season, I'm at episode 345. I have exactly 8 episodes to go, so I figured I would watch this and then, of course, watch the newest episode of Adventure, which I'll do the review soon after watching this episode. Okay. Now, as for the newest episode of the anime for Ace Attorney, which is the 40th episode of the series, it's called Turnabout Beginning's Last Trial. Yeah, this is, well, if you look at chronologically how the series goes, I would say that the 13th episode of the previous season, of course, of the series, that's chronologically first, and then this season, which was, there was that filler episode taking place in the past, that's obviously next. And I think you can kind of see probably the same time as that first episode, that first flashback episode. That kind of ties into the ending of the previous season of the show with the whole big trial. Yeah, that kind of takes place just before the ending of that. So you got to tie into that. And then after that we have, I believe next was, off the top of my head, I think it was the flashback that was seen from the previous episode. And then these 2 episodes, and then the one before this one, the hour-long episode for this one. Yeah, then of course we have present day stuff, obviously. Yeah, which chronologically, yeah, I think that's how the order you could put the series. Now, this particular episode is set 6 years before the events of the current of the series, because it was mentioned that this case takes place 1 year before Phoenix and Mia first met. So yeah, roughly 6 years before the start of the series. There's that. This one basically does set up it does set up the hour-long episode, and it does help set up the final arc. What I think is supposed to be the final arc of this particular season. Yes. Now those thinking, is this a filler case? This episode? No, this case is actually from the video game. Believe it or not, from the third video game. Even though, yes, I've never played this game before, but I have looked up. Yes, this is the case from the third game of the series, so this is a canon episode. Yeah, this one picks up right where last week lives off, with Dahlia still on the stand, and of course Mia tries to prove that she did successfully prove that she was the girl from 5 years prior to this episode that somehow survived, and she was 14 in relation to this big bulky guy. I kind of find that a little suspicious because, well, back then, she would be considered a minor. And if these two had a sexual relationship, one, that's kind of disgusting, and two, well, it's unknown exactly how old this big guy is supposed to be. If he was supposed to be 17, fine, wouldn't have a big problem with that. But if this guy was like 20, 21, yeah, the guy might be arrested for statutory rape. And it's also revealed that she is actually the younger sister. Of course, kind of the last 6 episodes, she's the younger sister of the cop who was killed basically 2 days before this episode. Yeah. They do kind of prove that she did survive from the previous one, the kidnapping, which was revealed to be fake. Yeah, it was a fake kidnapping, all planned by Dahlia to get her hands on a piece of jewelry. That's the only reason why. Though she later gets convicted a year later. Yeah, and the trial itself is clean a mistrial because the defendant decided to kill himself in the middle of the courtroom. Though he does thank Diego, aka Godot, for the coffee because his throat was dry. And of course, Diego himself still has magically having a full cup of coffee in his hand. Just like he does in present day, though in the case of that one just magically comes to him. As for how it gets to him, I have no idea. Yeah. And after the case, Mia's kind of been traumatized what happened, and then all of a sudden, because Diego gets so mad, he crushes his own mug in his hand, causing him to bleed, and it's kind of implied that they're going to start a sexual relationship, or at least start a relationship anyways. I don't know how old Diego's supposed to be, but I know Mia at this point, because when she died, she was 27, and this is set 6 years prior to that, so she's roughly 21. So this is okay. I have no problem with this at all. Diego must be probably in his mid to late 20s, I'd say. He doesn't look that much older than Mia. Her mentor, Greenberg, he's probably in his 50s, I'd say. Though interesting enough, his parents didn't really change very much over the course of 6 years. Mia, the only thing that changed about her, I should point out though, is the fact she was able to open up her top up a little bit more. Because here in the flashback, she's not as confident as she is in present day. Because in present day, she's able to. You see her outfit. It kind of looks like her businesswoman top is kind of pulled zipper down a bit. It kind of looks like she's showing off the undershirt that she's wearing underneath, possibly a bra. Unknown what it is. Though you get a chance to see her part of her chest a lot the whole episode. You don't see her breast, mind you. But yeah, you do see like just like her neckline. That's basically what you see of her. Now, one thing the flashbacks do not explain is where she gets the scarf from. Yeah, that's something that kind of bugged me about the character Mia. Beautiful woman, mind you, it's perfectly fine. In the case of the outfit, she probably bought that herself, but the scarf itself, I don't think it's ever been explained where she got that thing. I get maybe why the medallion that she wears around her neck, she probably got that basically as an heirloom from her mother. Okay. The scarf has never been explained. Yeah, it's particularly very weird, and as far as I can tell, Phoenix, I don't know if he carries around with him. I have no idea. It's never revealed. They do show a quick flash forward in this episode of 1 year later, which was from the 1 hour episode prior to this one, where, of course, Dahlia was basically tried and convicted of, well, what she did, the murder. They wanted to give her for this murder, but they were able to give her for the other murder. Yeah, apparently Phoenix fell for the same lies that this big bulky guy did. Oh yeah, and the episode never bothered to explain where he got the scars on his face from. Yeah, that might be interesting. I mean, I highly doubt he did it himself, and apparently he had these scars 5 years prior. Yeah, not much is delved into this guy at all. Aside from the fact he was related with Dahlia, like he was in a relationship with her, and the fact he was her tutor. Okay. If that's the case, then yeah, that's basically what it is when it comes to that. Though this episode has loose ties to the next episode. The episode does kind of end in present day with Phoenix in a hospital, though this is from the video game, mind you. Yes, this is from the video game. I looked up, this is definitely a scene from the video game, so that's perfectly canon. As for how he got there, well, that's going to be explained in the next multi-part story. It's going to be longer than 2 parts this time. I mean, as of the most episodes aired, it is roughly 5 parts in, so yeah, we might get our 6th part in the series. Not a bad idea. As a matter of fact, that's how the last season ended. Now, I do have a question, though, if there's going to be a season 3. If there is going to be a season 3, either one or two possibilities. Either one, we're going to see adaptation of the manga for Ace Attorney, either probably the case files, that's a possibility, or we might see adaptation of the 4th game of the series. My guess is we might get a chance to see adaptation of the Ace Attorney manga. Either, yeah, there's 2 different series. One is, I think it's, now there's the case files one, that's a possibility, that might be adapted. The other might be like the Ace Attorney like 6-volume manga, that might be adapted for the 3rd season of the show. If there is gonna be, I hope there will be one. But that's just my personal theory on the matter. I don't think they go to the 4th game just yet. And yes, the games themselves, there's actually 6 games. And I'm sure the show really still want to use Pearl. By the way, Pearl is nowhere in this episode at all. Unlike last week, she wasn't even in the hour-long episode either. So, yeah. Yeah, not even Pearl or even Maya. Yeah. Not much else to say, but this is a good episode. Yeah, otherwise that's really it. I have one more video planned for today, and that's a review of the newest episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm looking forward to this one. Yeah, especially picking off that awesome cliffhanger when they revealed the boss. Well, his stand anyways, from JoJo's Adventures. Yeah. So, until I see you next review, bye.